Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives from artists, producers, engineers, and other individuals in the music industry. In each episode, we touch on not only what has helped the person succeed, but we also touch on what has shaped them into the person that they are today. I hope you're able to gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you on your own journey to success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 236, the final episode of 2024 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. And today we had another part 2 guest, Tommy G, who I've collaborated a lot with this year. We actually just put out an EP called Setbacks. We got to talk about the creative process behind that. We both gave our own perspectives on working with one another and what the project meant to him, especially. It was great to hear. He's also working on another project set to drop in 2025 that he's working with another producer on, which I'm excited to hear that. And overall, he just talked about what he's been up to the last couple years, working with artists in the local Chico, California area, through college programs and through music studios, things like that. And he's getting set to graduate in 2025, which is super awesome. And I'm just excited to keep working with Tommy and, continuing to see what we do moving forward. And I'm proud to, say we're good friends and good collaborators at this point. And I thought this was a great way to cap off the episodes for this year in 2024. So without further ado, let's get into this one. All right, so welcome everyone to episode 236 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. It's the final episode of 2024, and I thought what a great way to cap off the year by having a close collaborator of mine, someone that we had on the show a couple years back. We just released a new EP called Setbacks, so I'm very excited to have him back on the show today. Tommy G, welcome back, man. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Anthony. What's up, everybody?
Absolutely, man. And like I said, it's great to catch up. I know me and you, we've been talking a lot for, we talk like every week, I think, just working on, working on songs, sending ideas back and forth, but it's good to have you back on the show. And for those that might not have heard that first episode, just kind of reintroduce yourself. How do you get into music? All those basic things again, for those that might not know you and what you do.
So my name's Tommy. I go by Tommy G. Hip-hop artist from Sacramento, California, currently based in Chico. I'm up here doing a recording arts and music business program at Chico State. And I got into music when I was in high school with a bunch of friends. We had like a group called 09 Productions, and me and my friend Chris both had like little home studios with booths and stuff at our houses, and just kind of started messing around, recording friends, rappers, acoustic artists, that sort of thing, doing a lot of collabs, learning the software, how to make beats and produce and mix a little bit. And it's really just kind of developed since then. Been doing a lot of independent work and finding people, on the internet to collab with, like Anthony here. And what has like really kept me going in music is like, that is just such a like therapeutic output for me, just a way to like really process things that are happening in my life, just to get them out of my head and put them on paper and lay them down in tracks and that sort of thing. And beyond that, it's just fun and just a nice creative way to have a good time and connect with other people.
Yeah, man. And that's really where I think our creative chemistry comes from as well, is just being able to work from that vein. And I feel like a lot of the songs we've done have kind of been in that lane too, of just like pure self-expression, you know what I mean? And we're going to get into that in a bit, talking about Setbacks and the songs we've done. But the first question I have, since this is a catch-up episode from the first time we did it, which was in 2022, what do you think has been the biggest change, maybe in music or in life in general, that you've overcome or really just gone through in the past couple years?
Like the past year, I've kind of been in the same groove I have been, just, working on music, doing school and that sort of thing. Just kind of nose to the grindstone, keeping moving. But a few years before that, I actually went to you know this, but I checked into rehab and got into recovery, and I've been sober for about 4 years. So that process has, really opened up a lot of doors for me. And so, yeah, just, like, taking care of myself and making sure that, that's, a really high priority for me, because that enables me to do everything else that I do, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it all starts too, right? It's kind of just making sure that we're okay to be able to be creative and do those things as well. And I gotta say, I loved your interview with Mike Bauman that you did a couple months ago on March 4th. And I know that, I know Mike, and it was great to see that you were on that show and you kind of dive deeper into all that stuff as well. So I loved hearing you on that interview, kind of go and kind of peel back the layers of it even more. And what has that meant to be able to connect with people like Mike and other, creatives to have those conversations with? Because I know for you, that's super important to be able to, just live your truth in that way. So like, what does that mean to be able to tell that story and share that story with other people?
Well, first of all, yeah, thanks for connecting with Mike. He's an awesome guy. It's really, really cool to be on his podcast and talk with him. But yeah, what that means to me, at the end of the day, it's my part of my story, my truth, a big part of it. And, it's a really big motivator for me to keep pushing forward in that direction. And if like one person hears a song and is inspired by, the lyrics or like the story they hear behind it, or hears that podcast and can resonate with that. And like, if that helps anybody, it's worth it at the end of the day to me.
Yeah, for sure. And I always say you can do a lot through music, but you can also do a lot through conversation as well. And that's why I think this podcast that I do has always been so important to me, because I'm able to, share my own stories, but also let other people share their stories in that way as well, because you can just always go one layer deeper with the conversations of it all. And as far as like how you've been doing that in the music, especially in 2024, since we're at the end of the year, just kind of recap, some of the releases from this year, and then we'll talk about Setbacks, but talk about your solo releases as well this year and what you dropped and what those songs meant to you.
Yeah, so me and you dropped Champion at the beginning of the year. I think that was in February. I really love that track, man.
Yeah.
Just the piano samples and those fast drums, and when you added those horns, that really jazzed things up. So yeah, that's on the album Setbacks. It's on side A, which is out now. The full thing's coming out November 22nd, so that's coming up here soon. At the beginning of the year, I did a collab release called Dead End with an Australian rapper, MN Capo. He's also a mixing engineer, goes by Newborn Noise. He mixes a lot of my stuff. And so yeah, that was really cool to get a collab in with him. And then I've just kind of been doing a lot of solo stuff. A lot of it is produced by this German-based producer who goes by Foremost. I'm actually working on my first full-length album that's exclusively produced by him at the moment. Got about like 10 songs in the book for that one so far. So, getting excited on that. But yeah, one was called The Key that I really like. It's featuring my ex-girlfriend Lilia. She's a beautiful singer. And yeah, I released one recently called Not Myself that I produced myself. And yeah, I really like how that one came out. It's kind of a cool like jazz hop track. I do a lot of that kind of alternative hip hop, jazz rap style. So yeah, just been trying to stay consistent, trying to do something like every month or so about.
Yeah, putting out the consistent releases is such a big thing. And I know for you that is definitely something you've always kept doing, especially over the last couple of years. And another thing that really impresses me to what you do is the visualizers, like on Instagram and things like that. And you've done some for our project, and you've done a lot of others for your own solo releases. So, have you been finding out different ways to kind of showcase your songs in that way, to kind of share them? Because a lot of them are like you in the studio kind of rapping stuff back. Which I love, because it kind of shows, it almost gives people like a behind the scenes of like the creation of the track too. So like, do you ever think of like how you're going to film those videos, or you just kind of film randomly like in the studio and just put them out?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time it's just like throwing up a camera at this angle. Sometimes I'll have a little more thought behind it,
Yeah.
you know, like for the track Not Myself, I did like a whole like beat breakdown of how I, you know, made the beat with like these samples and chopped them up and arranged them in the DAW and that sort of thing. I like including like screenshots of like Logic or whatever to like go along with the video sometimes too, because then you get to see in the box and the performance itself at the same time with the lyrics and that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy to think about how simple content creation can be sometimes, where it's just kind of like that. You can just show people something as simple as that, but it'll really catch on. And especially if they resonate with the song already, you know, when they see that behind the scenes, it makes them even more intrigued in what you're doing. But I just think what you do with that is incredible. So, and always looks visually on point too. So
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
For sure, man. And let's discuss Setbacks now, because obviously that's the project that we have done. And like you said, side A is already out, which is 3 tracks. And then the full version is going to be coming out on the 22nd. So by the time this episode is out, the EP will already be out. So let's hear it from your perspective, man. Like what was it like, you know, working on this project? I'll give some of my stories on it, but I want to hear kind of from your perspective, writing and, you know, just hearing the production that I was sending you. Like, what was it like, the process of putting this together?
So yeah, I mean, you were sending me a crazy amount of beats. First of all, like my email was just constantly like, "Ding, new email from Anthony, new beat."
Yep.
So yeah, I had just a slew of stuff to like listen through and pick from, and in the end, I recorded, you know, more than a couple more songs than actually made the album. But those just felt the most cohesive to me, and like the ones that I enjoyed the most. So yeah, I mean, there's 3 that have a very similar style. I'd say Aliens, High Tide, and Next Time in terms of the instrumental style. And then the other 3, Per Usual, Champion, and Disconnect, I'd have to say those are probably my favorite ones. And those are a little more unique and diversified in their styles. But in terms of writing, I mean, it's just, I don't know, like if I'm going through something, like that'll hit the page. Sometimes it's just, you know, having fun, just the vibes and coming up with, you know, cool metaphors and wordplay. And, you know, it's not necessarily like always something super deep and meaningful.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I was trying to come up with a concept for the project, because the creation process was more track by track, and kind of stitched them all together at the end. And so I came up with the concept Setbacks, and kind of had this like theme of like staircases in my head, which to me represents like the ups and downs of life, and then like, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, where like that's where like the setbacks thing kind of comes in. It's like overcoming difficulties in life, and that it's just a good reminder that things don't always work out perfectly or the way that we want them to. So learning how to, you know, navigate those blockades in life can really come to like define who you are as a human being.
Yeah.
I just think that's, I mean, it serves as a personal reminder to myself. And I mean, I think it's nice for other people to hear that as well.
Yeah. Hey there, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know about a couple different ways that you can support the podcast. One of the ways is by clicking that support the podcast button within your streaming platform. That is if you want to be a monthly supporter of the show. You can contribute either 99 cents, $5, or $10 a month. So that's the first way, and that's the more traditional way that we've had now for the last couple years. The other method that we actually just recently introduced is from our good friends over at Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a virtual tip jar. We have set our limit to a minimum of $10, but you can go make one-time, one-off donations. So if you visit ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast, you'll be able to donate. And all these different forms of donation go towards getting new guests every single week, getting potential sponsors on board to do giveaways, and overall just making the show better for you guys. So if you want to do that Ko-fi link, it's ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Otherwise, again, look for that support the podcast button in your streaming platform if you'd like to be a monthly supporter. And I just want to say thank you guys for your contributions. And without further ado, let's get back into the episode. I think I've told you this as well. I personally love the theme of the project, and I feel like that's the exact type of like project I love to be involved in, is the music that really speaks on like things that a lot of people can relate to. You know what I mean? I kind of felt that way about this project as well. And even in the artwork, because I told you about the artwork, like the side A having the 8-bit version, where it's like it's a little more playful, but you still get the message. And then when they're going to see the actual EP, like the artwork is a little more serious, like the tones, like the colors are a little like duller, a little darker, and we see you like more in like it's still animated, right? But you can tell like it's you, and it's more on like a human level. You know what I mean? I feel like that reflects like the other 3 songs that we included in the EP as well. So it's really like telling a full story in like a very condensed amount of space. And like you said, I was sending a ton of stuff. And you probably got tired at a point. You were like, man, I can't even go all through all these beats. But like, I feel like the tracks you picked, all like even the sequencing and everything just fit so well together. And another thing I appreciated was, you know, you giving the feedback on like what to add in, like the saxophone part on Champion and things like that, adding the brass elements in here and there. Because those are things that I'm not really good at. Like coming up with those ideas to enhance a song or like take it to the next level. So like to have your voice in there to tell me those things or like give those ideas and that input was super important, I think. Because like I said, I can do a lot like on my own, but I feel like when I am working with someone else and they give me those types of ideas, it just elevates everything even more. So I got to say, you know, thanks to you for giving that input and really just making those songs even better. Because like I said, even with the writing and stuff, it was already great. But then we do things like that, and it just takes it to that whole nother level. So, you know, I gotta say, just thanks for, you know, entrusting me with the vision and helping out. And this was your idea too, because I remember you hit me up. You're like, we should like collab and work together, and I was all for it. So I just started putting together ideas, and I'm happy with how it turned out for sure. So, and I'm excited to see what we can do moving forward as well. So
yeah, likewise, man. But yeah, I think offering that new perspective on, you know, a song or a beat, totally can elevate it and take it to the next level just with adding additional elements. Or like I was just messing with like the arrangement kind of on my end too, and then I would communicate that back to you. Because it just makes like the song like more dynamic and interesting, and like those little elements are very important. And then just like even playing with the track order at the end of the day. And seeing kind of what flows best into what, and that kind of underlying story that's being told throughout. Yeah,
for sure. And with that said, everybody definitely go check it out, because like I said, the project will be out by the time this interview's out there. So Tommy G, Anthony Church, Setbacks. And I'm actually putting out the per usual Behind the Beat video this coming week on Saturday. So I forgot to tell you that. So that's going to be coming out, and definitely check out that. And I did a Champion one in I think in March. That's when I did that one. Yeah. So definitely go get in tune with that whole project and everything we got going. And I'm sure you got more content coming for the full version as well. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely excited. But I know you said you got also another project in the works, and I assume that's probably going to be for 2025, or that's kind of what you're aiming for. And with 2025 on the horizon, like what do you think is going to be the big thing you're going to focus on in the new year?
So yeah, I mean, definitely the album is something big. Like I said, I've made quite a bit of progress on it already. But yeah, really just finding a couple more instrumentals from the producer Foremost that kind of fit the vibe that I'm going for. Got a couple in mind already, and then you know, messing with the arrangement on a few, and like, you know, have a few demos recorded, and then need to go back and like rewrite a verse or two for one. So it's coming together, and I'm like gathering like ideas for cover art and that sort of thing, and just kind of refining the whole concept around that. So that's definitely going to be a big project for me right now. And like I said before, I'm up here in Chico doing school for recording arts and music business. So that's taken up a lot of my time, but I'm having a good time doing it. And I'm going to be graduating in spring, which is exciting. So yeah, really focused on that right now. And I got a part-time job actually managing the recording studios at the school, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm part of a club called AES where we do just extra audio related stuff. So extra recording projects and that sort of thing. So yeah, all that's keeping me really busy. But it's all really good, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Just, honestly, lately I've been struggling a little to find time to work on music. At least try to get it in every weekend for a bit. But the past few weekends I've just been slammed.
I was gonna say I feel like the closer you get to graduating too, there's more work. You know what I mean? So even with that, totally. It's like the next probably semester is gonna be crazy. But early congrats on that, man, because that's super big, and I'm definitely proud of you. And I'm definitely intrigued because I know you've met a lot of people through doing that. We connected with Kennedy Jude, who I had on this show,
that's right.
Thanks to you. So what has that meant to get to even meet new people through doing all those things in Chico?
Chico's a really, really cool small town with a very tight-knit community, and there's, the music scene is pretty cool. There's just lots of live music all over town, and I mean, the recording program at the school, I think, was one of the first ones founded in Northern California. And I mean, yeah, it's just been cool to meet new people and learn from their experiences and, collab on, a few different things. I did a collab song with a rapper out here who goes by Max Ego. The song's called Make It Last. But I mean, yeah, people just have different skill sets and strengths. So it's just learning from new people, working alongside of them, and just picking up little things along the way.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully you can keep meeting more amazing new people along the way as well, and as you continue on, even past school and all that stuff. So I think that's great, man. And the final question I have for you today is kind of the closing question for the year, since this is the last episode of the year, and that is, what are you most grateful for in 2024? And what do you think you're looking forward to the most in 2025?
Let's see. I mean, I'm super grateful just for a second go at life, honestly. So that's, just a shout out for recovery and sobriety and that sort of thing. But also just all the awesome people who surround me and support me and make that happen. So family and friends, definitely very grateful for them, for my health and that sort of thing. And just to have the opportunity to go back to school and do something I've always wanted to do, and have time to make music and, kind of start building a nice catalog of songs that I'm, pretty excited and proud to share with everybody.
Yeah, for sure, man. And do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
Oh, the words of wisdom. I always forget this is coming.
I got to add it in there every time.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I just wish I would have thought of something beforehand. I mean, yeah, what comes to mind right now is just take action on the things that you want to do. Don't just, there's something you want to do, go out and do it. Don't let it fall to the wayside to time and being too busy with other things. Just seize the day and the moment and the opportunity and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's any New Year's resolution that should stick for people, hopefully it's that one. So
totally.
I know a lot of people set them and they don't follow them, but we should follow that one, I think. So yeah. But man, Tommy, I gotta say again, man, thanks for everything. I'm proud of what we did on Setbacks. I'm excited to keep working with you moving forward and just checking out, everything you got coming up in 2025 too, man. So I appreciate you for coming back on the show, and the door's open anytime. So whenever you want to come back, man.
Cool. Thanks for having me, dude.
Thanks, guys, for listening today. That was episode 236. And like I said at the beginning, this was the final episode of 2024. And as always, this time of year, I got to give thanks to all you guys, all the listeners, for just tuning in. This was the 4th full year of the podcast, and I'm just more than grateful to keep doing this thing, to keep having awesome guests on every single week. And thank you to all the guests that came either for the first time on this show or they came back for a second time on this show. You are very appreciated. And we're heading into 2025, full speed ahead. We're going to keep doing these every week, coming up with different ways to inform you guys and reach you guys on some awesome content and information. So like I said, thanks again for the support for another awesome year. And I hope you guys have a great holiday season, great new year. Not sure the official date we're going to be back, but it's going to be the first week of January. I've already recorded some episodes for 2025, so I'm super thrilled to be coming back and bringing back the Proven Knowledge podcast once again. But until then, enjoy the couple weeks off and enjoy those holidays, like I said. And we'll see you then. And thanks as always for listening.